Naming compounds. Today's learning objective is, can I follow the 3 literacy rules to name compounds? Okay, first of all, what are compounds? A compound is made up when you've got 2 or more different types of atoms and they must be chemically joined. So in this example here, we've got one type of atom here, and here's a different type of atom, and they've been chemically joined together to make a compound. Now the periodic table is going to be useful today because we're going to need to know where our metals are and which of the elements are non-metals. Okay, so there are 3 literacy rules. Rule number 1 is that if there is a metal in the compound, then the metal's name will always come first. And rule number 2 is that when 2 elements join together, the name of that compound will usually end in "ide", I-D-E. So in this example, we've got an atom of magnesium here. We're going to chemically join it to an atom of oxygen, so that when they make this compound here, we need to follow rule 1 and put the name of the metal first, and then we need to put this one and finish it off with "ide". So this one will be called magnesium oxide. Now notice that they've also removed this part of the word oxygen as well. Okay, so we compress the name, magnesium oxide. So this part follows rule 1, the metal goes first, and this part follows rule 2, ending in "ide", because there were only 2 elements. Okay, so now it's over to you. Have a go at questions 1 to 5. Rule 3. When 3 or more elements join, and when one of those elements is oxygen, the name of the compound ends in "ate", A-T-E. So in this example here, element number 1, magnesium, element 2 is carbon, element 3, oxygen. So we've got 3 elements, and one of them is oxygen. They combine together, they join, they make a compound called magnesium carbonate. Okay, magnesium, carbon, and here's the oxygen, which we changed to 8. So this bit follows rule 1, put the metal first, and this part here follows rule 3, okay, where it ends in 8. Now notice again, sometimes the end of the middle word gets removed. So although in this case carbon and oxygen did make carbonate, if you were to take sulfur and oxygen, that makes sulfate, not sulfurate. Okay, they've removed this part. And likewise, nitrogen and oxygen would make nitrate, not nitrogenate. Again, they removed this part here. Okay, so here's some more examples. Over to you. Have a go at these. These are going to try and follow rule 3. And finally, just when you thought you'd mastered it, there's going to be 4 compounds, and I'm afraid they break rule 2 or rule 3. Okay, hydrogen and chlorine. Now, you'd expect that to make hydrogen chloride, and in fact, it can be called hydrogen chloride, but when you see it, it will generally be hydrochloric acid. Hydrogen and nitrogen and oxygen, you might think that would make something like hydrogen nitrate, but again, it makes nitric acid. This one, hydrogen, sulfur and oxygen, not hydrogen sulfate, this one makes sulfuric acid. Okay, so acids like to break the rule. And the last example is if you take any metal and you join it with hydrogen and oxygen, okay, rather than making, let's say, I don't know, sodium hydrate, it makes sodium hydroxide. Okay, so hydrogen with oxygen makes hydroxide. So final check then, 5 more for you to have a go at. These you need to follow rule number 1 and 2. These you will be following rules 1 and 3, I guess, and there's one at the end just to test you out. Good luck.